Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas and today we're going to be basically bringing hero sections. Two of them are Zapier's hero section, so this one right here, which is pretty, static. There's no animation going on. The second one is going to be this Stripe one, right, with this nice text and this cool gradient in the background. We're going to try to see how we're going to do that. If that's interesting for you guys, feel free to watch this and let me know if you have any comments. So let's go ahead and start off with the Zapier one. So the Zapier one looks like this, where we have this label, this text over here, and then these buttons. And there is a type of interaction here. We can do that as well. And then we have this image, right? So the interaction is basically this hover effect for these two buttons. Okay, now what we want to do is the following. We want to get this Chrome extension called HTML to Framer right here. And then once we have that downloaded, you can basically use it just like I am going to use it right now. You copy the layout that we need, which is this one. So I'm going to just press copy. And then we go to Framer. And this page is going to be the Zapier page, the home page. I'm going to, first of all, add the different breakpoints. I always like to do that. And then I'm going to press paste. And then as you can see, well, first of all, we're going to make this 1200 like it was before. And perfect. So now there is a little bit of a weirdness going on here. We have the image here and we have the text, but obviously the text doesn't look the same as in the browser because we don't have the specific font. So we're going to be using a different font for this, but we're going to just create the same type of layout, right? So I also noticed that this isn't really a white. It's like a yellow type of color. So basically just like this here. So I'm gonna make this fill into that yellow. Perfect. So all of it is like that. Okay. And then as you can notice, all of these are frames. You can see one stack somewhere. This is a stack. This is good. This is like the button. So this actually came out really nice. But other than that, you have to kind of make sure that everything is stacked up and not not frames basically. So what we gotta do is here, make sure this has a layout, give it a layout. Okay, perfect. This layout is from the desktop, so everything in the desktop is always going downwards. So that means that we have to kind of make a stack here. We have to organize everything here. So I'm going to create a stack like this, stack this up as well. So this is going to be called a text. And I'm like on a time limit here. I don't want to take so much time. And then these two buttons, so these are like the two buttons. Let's just stack them up like this. Go like this. And then let's stack this up to the left, basically making it like this. And then this would be its own stack as well. And let's call this right. And then we're gonna stack this up into a hero section. And this hero section is gonna be like this. And then we're gonna put the left first, and then the right, and then the hero section. Well, we can see here, it's kind of, we have like a height here and a padding. We can probably inspect it and see how much the padding is. Well, not really, I would say. Okay. It says 20, but it's more because we have to, increase the screen, but we know that it's 100 on the top. So let's say 100 on the top and bottom and 60 on the right and left. So we can go here, get our hero section, padding, 100 on the top, 100 in the bottom, right and left 60. So we got that, boom. And then hero, this left part can go like this. So this is going to be basically left aligned. This frame, so we want this to be have a layout and not, yeah, exactly. We're gonna have this as a layout, perfect. And then we're gonna want this to be a layout as well. Great. This is looking good. This is an image. Let's just leave it like this. It's fine. This text has to be not fixed, but fill. This text as well has to be fill. And this button has to be fill, and this one as well. This one has to turn into a layout. and I'm seeing that there's no text inside. It's only a frame with the icon. So let's just make sure that we copy this. Let's actually fill this. Let's copy this text. Let's put it in here. And this text is called Start Free with Google. So let's just go back to Framer and make this black. Start free with Google. And this is not a fixed one. This is going to be fill. And this particular stack will be set to fill as well. We're going to reduce the gap maybe. Actually, let's add some padding on the right and left. Something like that. That's good. The height is fixed. Let's set it to fit. Or maybe to fill. Perfect. All right. And then we want to maybe get this. Increase the gap here. And we want to make this fill. And fill. Fill. Perfect. And then we can see here it's there's a little bit more of a space, so we can just actually make this fixed and decrease the size a bit. Maybe put this on the right side. And then for the tablet, we can just switch this, make this go to the center. Same with the phone, we can just switch this. Let's make sure that the size of the frame of the main, breakpoint fits the content, and then boom, we have a nice design. Let's obviously make this look better. This is smaller and it's bolder, so we just have to go back to Framer and make this a little bit smaller, probably like this, and let's make it like nice bold, right? And for the phone, we might want to even decrease it a little bit more. Maybe make the line height smaller. Something like this. Oh yeah, and these buttons, we would want them to be like this. This one wouldn't be a fixed height, it would be something like fill. Or how much is this one? This is auto height. I mean, for now we can just fill and then add top and bottom and actually give it a fit content, and then this can be fit content, and then boom, we have something nice. Here it's looking kind of weird. Set it to fill like that, and then this can be set to fit content, and then we can set the gap here to be more. And boom, we have our Zapier hero page. By the way, I have all of the different hero sections at the bottom in case you want to, just download them and have them for yourselves in your own project spaces, right? So that's a Zapier. I'm going to go open a new page, and I'm going to call this Stripe, right? That's the new one. So Stripe. And then again, let's breakpoint, and we have a new page now. And now let's go to the Stripe page, and let's do the same as with Zapier, where we basically just copy the whole section like this, right? So let's copy this. It says some items can be copied. Let's see which ones. No worries. I think it's probably the gradient. Pretty sure, yeah. So we got that. We got actually the image copied, which is really cool because that's kind of the thing that I was like most worried about. But that's great that it worked. This thing we're gonna have to redo because it's an input field, and we have to like use Framer's input fields in order for it to actually work. Right? So we got this covered. It's looking nice. Let's make it 1200, not that other size. And let's start putting everything together into different stacks, right? Just like with Zapier. So I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna close this thing, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of this left side so I can have it in Framer with me and use it as a kind of a map to see how I can build, right? So we have the right, this is going to be actually, we're going to leave it as frames because they're, you know, graphics, and we're going to put these together, and this is going to be, actually let's leave them like that for now. I want to see, okay, they're both absolute position. We're going to put them, let's put them into a stack. This stack is going to be relative. It's not going to be absolute, but both of these frames are going to be absolute. And this stack won't be absolute. It will be relative eventually, but we can fix that. Okay, we got to add some layout here. Now it's relative, perfect. Now what we can do, well, we're going to fix that later with this, but we got to add a Z index here. Perfect. So this one is underneath, and then everything here. So this dot, I don't really know what it is. Let's actually add a darker background here so I can see everything. Okay. So we have early bird registration now open. What is that? So, okay, session 2025. We got to find that other text. I don't really see it, but it's no problem. We can just redo it. So we can add a stack to this and make the stack go like this. Make it fit the content so it's kind of like a button. And then we can just duplicate this, put this above, and this is basically sessions 2025. So let's write sessions 2025. This is going to be fit content. This is also going to be fit content. This one is already that good. And then the stack is going to be like a black thing. Let's see. Go back to Framer. Padding. Let's increase the padding a bit. On the top and bottom, maybe we can make it smaller, like 6. And then we can add a border radius and add the fill to be black and like 10%, maybe 20. Good. So financial infrastructure, this one is duplicate. This one is also duplicate. This one is a text. Why is it blue? That's weird, but whatever. We gotta just leave it like this. So these two are gonna be in one stack, which will be like the text stack. These two will also be in one. I wonder what this is. We gotta make this fit the content so we can see everything. Perfect. These two we can delete. So the stack we can delete. This one we can delete as well. The text now, and this top stack can be in one stack, which can be called left, and this one can be called right. And then we can put these together just like with Zapier. Add stack, hero, make it like this, and then make them each fill. And this one would be fill as well. This one would go on the right. And then, for example, here, we would need this to go kind of like this somehow. And this frame would be like, okay, now I see it. There we are. How does it look like here? Okay, let's make it look like that. So let's make it smaller, actually, maybe. No. Something like this. Something like this, fine. It's not the same, but whatever. Okay, and then let's make this be black. Let's make this be like a gray. Let's put this to the left. put this to the left. And then we want to make this hero section have a nice padding on the right and left. So something like this. Top and bottom also like 100. Now it's looking good. Oh, actually we don't want this padding on the right. So let's get this hero section and remove the padding on the right so that this can kind of like overflow nicely. Let's make it like this so it looks better. And now we want to add this nice gradient behind the whole thing, right? So the gradient is going to be kind of like a triangle. So what we can do is we can get a frame, grab a frame like this and try to manipulate this frame. Or we can get like a pen tool. Let's see if Framer has that. Does it? I've never used a pen tool in Framer. But we can try to see how we do this. I'm pretty sure we can maybe... let me see how I do this. Let me research this really quick. All right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this so that we have a nice reference as to how the angle should be. So I'm going to bring it into Figma. And there should be a way to do this in Framer, but I'm just going to do this in Figma because we're kind of in a time pressure. I don't want to make this tutorial very long. I want to have a lot of value in short time. So let's just do this. We remove the stroke, we add the fill, and then we can basically, with the Figma to HTML with Framer, copied one layer, pasted Framer. Okay, now we go like this and we go paste, and then we basically have this now in Framer. So I want to try to put this in this place. So now you can see it's a vector, and this vector is gonna have a absolute position. So we can see this absolute position. We want to make it actually even lower, something like this. Looks actually pretty good. Maybe even more, I don't know. Something like this is fine. And now what we want to do is we want to add this nice effect. And what I found is this fluid gradients effects. I'm going to add the link to the description, but it's basically this link over here. And we can remix this project to have it in our own Framer dashboard. I'm going to press confirm. I'm going to go here to the layer, see, okay, it's this particles. I'm going to copy, go back to my Figma place. And I'm going to see how I can add a mask to a vector, right? So we have this here. And how would this look like if I were to press play? Okay, it's kind of weird. So let's just make sure that it's working. It should work. Density, move, shapes, hovers, click. If anything, if this doesn't work with this, I'm gonna basically just use a nice gradient for this, right? So I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes just to try to do this. So we have random, no, this is the hover, click, no, shape, triangle, move, modes, link, no, opacity, no, density, no, amount, color. Let me see how they did it here. Why is it so perfect here? And move, if I can like, you know, compare it. Oh, there's a gradient blur. Okay, I have to copy this. I have to copy this. That's why it didn't work. Okay. So now this has this gradient blur. And now what we want to do is we want to, with this mask, we want to create like a mask over this. So let's put it like over here. And let me kind of research how to do this. So what we can also do here is we can create a frame. And this frame can be, we can put this gradient into this frame, remove this color, get this gradients thing, go like this, put it somewhere in the middle, and this frame we can add a mask to it. And if we want to add like a gradient, for example, but it's not really what we want. So we can just do it like this, it's fine. And then what we do is we make sure that this is, you know, in a way diagonal, so that it kind of matches the angle of this. So we can actually go like this and see, okay, this is better. All right, let's use this. And then let's remove this vector and let's bring in this frame and let's make this, let's lock this, and let's move this frame into here. Put the frame outside. Let's make it absolute and increase the size. Adjust it like this, somehow, like this as well. And we want to make it a 0 index. Okay, perfect. And increase, make it higher, higher, higher. Something like this would work, right? Perfect. And now what we want to do is we want to make this not this ugly fill, but this. And yeah, it's starting to look good. Make sure that this is like a fill height. Actually, not fit, sorry. And let's maybe add some padding everywhere. Just make sure that everything's looking good. This would be fill. Good. Okay, there's some problem with the drop shadows here. We might want to reduce it a little bit. But other than that, it's looking good. Right? This one as well. The drop shadows seem a little bit too crazy. Maybe we can keep it, but somehow make this have something that let's see how this would look here. Okay, here kind of it doesn't show, which is strange. But we want to make this hero go downwards, and this as well, this hero go downwards. And maybe we want to just, whoops. Oh, and the G is to draw path. Okay, that was basically what I was looking for the other time. The other way, but we don't need it anymore. Okay, and this one would be basically absolute. We want to make it somehow like this, right? We want to remove this hero section padding on the left, or actually make it on the left, but put this maybe centered somehow. So somehow this frame isn't showing, but don't worry, if you press play, it does show. So that's kind of strange. We would have to just work on this, you know, this thing here. But basically, this is just an issue of adjusting the height and the shadows of this particular section. So we can actually make it, get rid of this particular right side and theoretically put it like this, and this would also work fine. But we would just have to now see with the you know, with the responsiveness, we would actually have to leave this right side kind of like empty and move these frames somehow. So this is frame 1. We would have to move it on the tablet somehow down low, like this. And so like we keep the shadow and we keep this empty stack. This would be like an ideal solution in this case, right? So this would be one way of solving that shadow thing. So that's one way of doing it. We can leave it like this for now. Let's actually make this even nicer like this, right? And then we can press play and we have a nice little design like this, looking good. Let's actually make this even better for the phone. We know the hero section is looking good, but we want this stuff to be actually lower like this. Maybe this one going like this on the side. And the phone, we can try to, maybe put 0 here, save us some time, and go like this, maybe in a way like this, right? And then for the phone, obviously we'd have to make all this starting from here, make it fill, not fixed. Likewise with this, we would maybe even want to adjust the font size to be something like 66. And let's adjust this text. Actually, let's adjust the whole hero section to have now a padding on the right and left. So we can do that from here. So it's consistent on all sides. And now for the phone, we would want the hero section actually now to have less padding. So if we click on here, hero, we can put 2020 and it would look better. Okay, now we can, and actually what we can do here as well is this text has a particular style. So we can go here, or was it here? And it kind of like has this nice thing. What we can do is we can make the text have a less of a Z index than that gradient. And then this gradient can have a style of filter or blending maybe. And then the blending can be like multiply, something like that. You can play along with that, but basically something like that would work, right? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was pretty cool. I think we did a lot in the time that we had. So we have now Zapier and we have Stripe, and we did it pretty quickly. Framer is a great tool to, to convert designs from other things like Webflow or like WordPress, or like from actual code from real websites. Stripe was a pretty challenging one, but we did it. So and here we have it, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. So thanks. Bye-bye.